It's so cool to play along with backing tracks. In fact, for me personally, I think it makes practicing that much more fun. And isn't playing an instrument supposed to be about having fun? Hey, Donna Schwartz here from DonnaSchwartzMusic.com, the site for practical tips and solutions to improve your music performance skills. In this video today, I want to give you some options for finding your own backing tracks. Now, I know for me, from a very young age, one of the things that really helped me to read music well and to also be able to play all those stylistic nuances and just add more to the music, one of the things that helped me was playing along with tracks or with recordings. Now back then, and it wasn't very long ago, back then we didn't have all these options that are available now. Right now you've got YouTube, you've got Pandora, you've got Spotify, you've got all these things that you can play along with. And in addition to that, a whole bunch of other resources that I'm going to mention, which makes practicing even more fun and enjoyable, and also helps you get a lot more benefits. You see, when you play along with a backing track, it's not just you stuck in a practice room playing a melody or playing an inner harmony or a bass line. You could see how your part fits into the music just in general. You could also see how the melody relates to the chords if you're doing jazz. If you're doing a concert band arrangement, I'll talk about a resource that you can use that can hopefully you'll find the arrangement of the band piece that you're playing, or even the church music that you may be playing. Because the fact of the matter is that music is much more exciting when we share it with others, and if we don't have that opportunity to practice with other people, the backing tracks or the recordings help us to do that. Now, let's say there isn't a backing track for what you're looking for. Look for a regular recording and play along with that. That will help you also. And that's what I did when I was younger. I would listen for these solos that I was about to perform the following year for NYSSMA, New York State School Music Association. We'd prepare a solo, sight reading, scales, that kind of thing. We wouldn't prepare the sight reading actually, but I would listen for recordings of the music I was going to perform, and I'd be prepared the year before. I'd listen and listen and listen, and I got it burned in my brain so much that when the time came for me to actually look at the music, I knew what I was reading. I could make sense of the black dots on the page, and that's also what listening can do for you. So backing tracks, playing along with recordings. Before I get to my resources, here's another thing to think about. If you are playing a piece of music that's brand new and there's no recordings available, I'm going to give you a couple of resources where if you know what the chords are in the background, you could type them in, and the software or the program will generate a backing track for you. So without further ado, let me begin. Okay, so one of my subscribers, David, asked, hey Donna, I just want to play along with some backing tracks, for my flute and my saxophone, and I was wondering if you had some tips. I knew about Band in a Box and some other thing, but I wonder if you had some more tips. So that was Dave, and that was a really great question, and it made me think a little bit. There are a variety of things out there. First of all, there's YouTube. Okay, on YouTube, man, there's everything there. So if you type in like the name of your piece plus karaoke, you'll probably find a backing track. If not a backing track, you'll probably find a recording. If not one recording, a whole bunch of recordings. So that's the first resource I would mention, because for the most part, it's free. The other thing that you can do is if you're playing a concert band piece of music, a choral arrangement, string orchestra arrangement, or church music, there's a website called jwpepper, Pepper.com, jwpepper.com. If you know the composer, the arranger, the publisher, you could type that into the search box and you may be able to find that arrangement. Now you don't have to buy it, but what you can do, find that actual arrangement. There may be an audio button right next to that. Click on the audio button and you'll at least have a sample, if not the entire audio track of the piece that you're working on. I know for those folks that play inner harmony instruments for concert band arrangements, it can be boring, it can be tedious. There's only so many upbeats you can play without getting bored. So that's a resource for you too. In addition, you could also look up on YouTube the name of the piece and the composer. There may be a high school band or a college band that may have played it and someone recorded it on YouTube. So that's another thought to think about. Now, if you're thinking about performing backing tracks, or you need backing tracks for popular music, whether it's rock, contemporary jazz, jazz standards, here's some resources for you. Just looking up online. Karaokeversion.com. I learned that actually from Nigel McGill at Sax School. Karaokeversion.com has a whole bunch of backing tracks for purchase, and you can specialize those tracks so that if you need to take out the saxophone line because you play saxophone, awesome. If you're a singer and you want to take out the lead vocal part, you could do that too. So that's one great resource. Another one closely related to that is smoothjazzbackingtracks.com. In fact, let me get my list over here. We have smooth jazz backing tracks and also jazzbacks.com. Great resources. I actually just bought a whole bunch of backing tracks from them. There were standards in there. There were some pop music, contemporary jazz, a whole bunches of things, bossa novas, that kind of thing. The other resource that you may not be know about is this. If you play jazz standards, what's really great is since Hal Leonard took over the real books, they now have for volumes 1 and 2, they have the backing tracks. Okay, this is just one example. And they break it down into, there's a whole bunch of CDs. So like this one has CDs 2 and 3 in here. I have all the backing tracks for volume 1 and 2. Not every single song, though, has a backing track. I need to, put that out there. Not every single song is listed for volumes 1 and 2, but a lot of them are. And it is so important to have those backing tracks because you need to hear how the melody relates to the chords. You need to hear the chord changes. You need to hear the quality of the chords. Okay? And if you're improvising, you need that sound in your head. So I would definitely recommend purchasing that. You can get it in CD form. They also have it in a thumb drive, flash drive, jump drive, whatever you want to call it. They have it in that format as well. And if I'm not mistaken, they may have just put that out in MP3 format too. Something to just look into. So if you go to like the Jamie Aebersold site, jazzbooks.com, I think you could buy them from there because I think that's what I did. If not, there's always Amazon. But let's support the small retailers because I think that will be helpful. Another resource that a bunch of people know about is the Band in a Box. Okay, this is the most recent version for Mac. It's 2017. Band in a Box is great if you know what the backing chords are so that you can type in the chords and you could generate the style that you want. You could change up the style. If you have a jazz standard that's swing and you want to make it bossa, you can do that. So Band in a Box is great. It won't generate a lead sheet for you unless you type in the melody that you have. You could do that too if you wanted to, but most people use it to generate a backing track. Now, something equivalent to that that's much cheaper is iReal Pro. They make an app for the tablet or the iPad. They also make an app for the desktop as well. You have to buy them separately though. You can't just buy one and then it works for both. As you know what I'm pointing to, my desktop is over there, by the way. So iReal Pro is a great alternative too, but it does not generate the lead sheet. All right, it will generate, it'll have the chords there already. There's hundreds of tunes in there, not just jazz standards. There's Beatles songs, there's rock songs, there's I think there's Steely Dan songs in there. There's whole bunches of things in there. That's something to definitely check out. iReal Pro. Oh yeah, that's right. Someone also gave me this tip, and I didn't realize about this particular site. It's called coffeebreakgrooves.com. That's another website where you can purchase backing tracks, usually contemporary jazz, smooth jazz. Those are sometimes hard to find, so I think that's an awesome resource as well. So if you want to make your practicing more interesting, check out the resources I listed. If you're wanting to play songs like the theme from Star Wars or those kinds of things, there's plenty of those books available at your local music store, as well as at Amazon.com or woodwindandbrasswind.com or any of the local music stores that you have. I would definitely recommend using backing tracks. And this just reminded me of one more resource that I didn't think about before. If you need the sheet music for something, you could look at sheetmusicplus.com or musicnotes.com. A lot of times they allow you to listen to the sheet music, the arrangement. Now, sometimes it's just the melody, which may not be what you want, but sometimes they also have the accompaniment as well. So it's another resource that I just thought of right now that can help you. Okay, so hopefully this video helped you, gave you a lot more ideas about how to access backing tracks for whatever style of music that you like. Because as I said before, music is fun when you're playing along with other people or with backing tracks. If you want more great tips like this on a weekly basis, you've got to sign up for my newsletter at DonnaSchwartzmusic.com. Thanks for joining me. On that note, take care. Have a great day.